Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Jupiter Lita here, and today we're going to talk about, being the unstraight in Sailor Moon. Since the word homosexual is a Greek or Hellenic borrowed word, the English for to be unstraight, and unstraight not only goes to the bi folks as well. So anyone who So the term unstraight is said for anyone, for men who love men, women who love women, and even those who are half and half are unstraight too. Now, I'm not making this film to, say anything bad because there's already enough folks out there scathing it. But I am here to talk about how it was handled in Sailor Moon. Now, a lot of folks, and it comes from the stand and the mindset that it was wrong. Now, if it is wrong, I don't have any truth to back it up being wrong or not. A lot of folks say it is, and if that is their belief, then that's their belief. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about selves that were unstraight in Sailor Moon, but out of the grounds of who they were making Sailor Moon for at the time, they had to shift them around. First we first we come to Zoisite and Quinfight. Yes, I am working the Deke borrowed names here. In Deke's world, Zoisite's a woman and she's a woman. I know in every other offshoot of Sailor Moon he's a he, so in Deke's world she's a she and that's the way it was. And a lot of folks, bitched about that. Why? I don't know. I guess they were playing, they thought it was handled wrong. Now, the grounds to why Zoisite had to become a woman was out of the grounds that they were making it for kids. And at the time, and the during this at this time, that's not how it is now. During this time, there were folks out there who thought it was wrong for anyone to be playing someone unstraight. They didn't care if it was a show or a film or a play, they just thought it was wrong. And if you were making a show for kids and you were doing that, then you were also in the wrong. It's not how it is now, where that kind of thing these days there's more understanding, there's more trusting of it, and there's more learning about it. It's not how it was now. Oh, I know there's probably still folks out there that still shame and guilty, still are going around and shaming and guilting and scathing it. But at the end, at the end of the day, it is what it is. And that cannot be helped. But there are still more folks out there that are more understanding and trusting of it than there was before. So Deke didn't want to get in a bind when someone watched the show and say, I just watched a drawing film where two folks were unstraight, and then somehow, some way, they get a hold of whatever folk work it happened to be, UPN, WB, USA, cartoon, whatever, ones that did it and the one that Reichs, and then says, you just broadcasted a show with two unstraight folks and I'm angry. Now some folks just might not let their kids watch it. But let's say you have those bearers or keepers that go above that. They go to the utmost. And they're the ones that will call UPN and WB and Fox and USA and Cartoon. And they'll get the show taken off. They'll put enough squeeze on the folk work that the folk work will tell Deke that's a no-go. And Deke didn't want to be in that bind. And neither did UPN or WB or USA or Cartoon. So even YTV didn't want to be in that bind. So that's why Zoisite became a woman. And in the Deke world, she's a woman, so it is what it is. When you get to CLOVERWAY, and you bring up Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune, a lot of folks still once again bitch about this. They're like near kin. Now, I guess Cloverway would have been in the same bind that Deke would have been in. The same bind. The same folks. The folks that would have been going to the utmost. So, everyone knows Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune were lovers. And every other offshoot of Sailor Moon. They were near kin in Cloverway and Pioneer, whatever's handling of it, because Pioneer and Cloverway didn't want to be in the same bind that Deke would have been in. And some folks who are near kin do have near bonds. Not loving, loving bonds, but, not the, I'm talking about. There are near close folks who are kin and they are near to each other. They grow up close. They grow up around the same time. They happen to be around each other, and it happens. Some kins aren't like that. Some are. So I think I know that's what they were going for. But a lot of folks out there could see through the near kin thing and say, yeah, they're unstraight lovers. Now, there was a belief going around that Cloverway only did it to make fun of Deke for doing it. Well, keep in mind, if that was true, then Cloverway was only 1 or 2 years removed from that. And there's still that mindset was still around. So even if Cloverway was doing it to make fun of someone else for being in a bind, Cloverway would have been in the same bind too. If Deke didn't do what they had to do, there's no way they would have gotten the first and 2 forward followings out. Hell, there's no way the 3rd and 4th followings would have gone out either if Deke didn't do what they had to do. And Cloverway would have been in the same bind that Deke would have been in if they didn't do anything. And a lot of folks seem to believe that Fisheye is one. But, no. So watching both the Cloverway and Viz's handling of it, I have come to the belief that Fisheye is a woman in all the offshoots. Sorry, she is. I can't seek any truth to back up she's not. So we're not even going to talk about Fisheye. When you get to Sailor Stars, and keep in mind, Sailor Stars didn't get a true English work until Viz gave it its first and true English work. There were a lot of follower or lover works being made. A lot of folks, putting into English, but they weren't welcomed as the true English work. And if you thought that it would have been smooth for just to shift the speaking around, or to shift their kinship around, it would have been harder for either Deke or Cloverway or Pioneer, whoever got the rights to do Sailor Stars. How would they even handle the Sailor Starlights, who were men when they weren't Sailor Keepers? But when they shape-shifted, they became women, or at least they shifted women body breaks or halves or slights. That would have been harder. And those same folks would have still been around. Those same folks would have been ready to bitch, ready to call them up, ready to start bitching about they just saw a show, or they just watched a show with their kids that had folks that shape-shifted from men to women. And I know why Toei did that, because of Naiko Toguchi's oversight, which is something I don't really follow anyway. But whatever, they had to follow it. So yeah, it's not how it is now, where there's more trusting and understanding and learning about it. There are still some folks out there that are creeps and bullies and heels. Sadly, that cannot be helped. But there's a lot more folks out there that are understanding and trusting and learning about it. and more folks that are more willing to, say, yes, there are folks out there who are unstraight. How they come by to learn they're unstraight, how they handle their unstraightness, that's on them, but there are folks out there who are unstraight. And not to shame or guilt or slight them in any way. There's a more understanding and trust going on. That's how Viz could get away now with showing Sailor Moon in its full. Because a lot of things that they could do, because shown now, were back then seen to be, wrong. So anyway, that's just my talk about, just my talk about how the unstraight were handled by Viz and by Deke and CLOVERWAY, and why it had to be done. Alright, I'm Sailor Jupiter. Lita, hope you like this film. Bye.